Michael, this was just the way that it unfolded. I think it's fair to say it caught a lot of people off guard. There had been some whispers about what was happening with Daly Cherry-Evans, but Monday night, just before 100% footy, the story broke that he was leaving the Sea Eagles at season's end. What unfolded?
Yeah, look, it caught us by surprise as well. We expected there'd be some tension around Daly Cherry-Evans this year and what he does in the future, but for it to come to a head the way it did, not only for him to make the decision, but the circus that unfolded around it with the live offers on NRL 360 and then him coming on and basically rejecting that offer that hadn't actually been given to him. It was a circus. And to be honest with you, it's left Manly with a bit of a black eye and how this has been handled. I know there's going to be differing of opinions on who's to blame for this, but no one wanted to see this. Daly Cherry-Evans leaving Manly after 15 years, the longest serving player.
Who do you think's to blame?
Look,
well, what are the facts?
Well, if you go back, I'll give you a little timeline of how it's transpired. So if you go back to the end of last year, Daly Cherry-Evans heads to November 1, would become a free agent November 1. Manly indicate that they're not in a position to make him an offer. He says, well, I'm going to go and test the market then. And he gives his management directive to go and speak to a couple of clubs that he has chosen that he might want to play for. They test the waters, come back to Manly and say, we don't have a formal offer. Do you guys want to make an offer? And at the time, they were thinking about a one-year deal, but in the end, they said, no, well, we reserve the last rights in negotiation as part of this deal, as part of the CBA. You come back to us. If you have an offer, come back to us and we'll let you know if we've got an offer. It's a bit like, I guess, me going to my missus saying, after 15 years, you know what, I don't know if this is working out. Do you want to go out for a few nights? If you find someone, come back to me. And if you do find someone, well, I'll stay with you. And
does she want to go to the Robin Hood for karaoke?
What's that? Is
karaoke
that
Friday
karaoke.
night. I can take her up.
Sort her out, mate. You look
That's
after
Joey's local.
If she ends up with Joey, she can have him.
No, I'm very happy, by the way. Hey, Kate, I love you, darling.
But that's, to me, and Daly's not going to say a bad word about Manly. He was very, classy and he showed plenty of temperament on 100% footy on Monday night. But you can read between the lines. He's clearly disappointed. And to not offer him a deal and then to say, this is the part that I think that Daly decided, I'm going to come out and try and nip this in the bud. Because he told the club in December that he was not going to play on at Manly next year. Over the last 2 weeks, the narrative has been, oh, he wants a 2-year deal, he wants a 2-year deal. And that's trying to make Daly look like he's negative, like he's greedy, like he's selfish. And I think Daly's watched that in the background, and then you start to wonder, are people trying to set you up here? And it feels as though, to me, the narrative has been changed, and News Corp were reporting that he wanted the 2 years. Never once did he ever ask for 2 years. Never received an offer, never asked for a 2-year deal. That's not the sticking point. So to spin it around, I think Daly's got to a point where he's like, well, if this is going to play out, it's going to get nasty. I've already told you in December I'm moving on. Let's just do this now. And he used this platform with 100% footy. This wasn't pre-arranged, despite what people are saying. So this wasn't something that he decided that we'd organised with him, he was going to go on there. He decided on that Monday that he was going to use the platform in a pre-arranged interview to say his side of events. And he did that.
I think he handled himself very well, the way that he spoke. He's very articulate, and he's not someone who would, throw other people under the bus. He's obviously spoken to his teammates. He's spoke to the Trbojevic brothers. What did you guys make of this situation when you saw how it all unfolded? What were your initial thoughts? Yeah.
Could not believe it. Someone said to me at the start of the year, Daly Cherry-Evans won't play his career out at Manly. I would have laughed at him.
So then where do you see him going? What club do you think suits him?
I think there's already been a deal done.
Well,
I don't think he's signed, but I reckon he's agreed to terms with a handshake or a wink, wink, nod, nod. I'll be there. And what's the club you played for?
Well, why wouldn't he?
Roosters.
Yeah, well, they've got plenty of space, put it that way. Like, you look at what's happened at the Roosters over the last couple of years, or especially over the pre-season. The thing I think with Daly is he's an intelligent bloke and he's very calculated. Like, I can't imagine Daly just coming out saying, you know what, I'm not going to play with Manly next year and not know what his future is looking like. I just couldn't imagine that. That just doesn't seem in his nature.
Well, people will jump up and down and say, oh, the Roosters, their salary cap. Brandon Smith's moving on. There might be 800. Chad Townsend won't be playing next year. There's another 300. So there's the money.
Plus, all the players they left.
Joey Manu.
Yeah, Joey Manu. So then also,
Geary.
as you know, Freddie, the Roosters board's got great connections. If he's looking to go into the media, there's great connection between the Nine and also Fox, if that's what he wants to do.
I'd love him to get into running the game. I think Daly could assist the game unbelievably. Just his nature, the way he speaks. He has a level of intelligence. I think there's not enough ex-players
to run the game.
Well, get in there and just be part of the game. No, be part of the game and be part of... Have some more players come through. I work for the game at the moment, and you can see there's a few other players there as well. Just the knowledge you have.
Yeah.
And then if you can have someone like him who can actually, get it out there and, he could sort of mix in any circles.
Do you find it sad he won't end his career at Manly?
No.
Well, what do you guys think? Do you think there's someone to blame here? Do you think the way it's been handled?
Well, let's talk last week. We spoke about it on the game, actually. Myself and Cameron Smith, I'm sure, maybe Billy Slater, Thursday night down in Melbourne. And the number what was said was 600,000. I don't know where that's come from. And we both said this is disrespectful. If he went on the open market, don't worry about his age, 36. On the open market, with what's happened with Dylan Brown, the market value for him is 1.4, 1.5 million. That's his market value in the current crime. He'll play, if he wants to, he'll play for another 4 years. You've got to remember, he's played 15 years. He's played over 20-odd Origins, over 20 tests. He's missed 20 games. His durability is amazing.
The thing that highlights the situation to me is when the story broke, Danny Wilder and I reported it at about 6:40 on Monday night. Manly were already aware that he was going on air later that night to talk about his decision that he already told the club in December that he was moving on. So in that period of 2-3 hours, how does nobody ring Daly? How does nobody ring his management and make the offer that they made on NRL 360? To me, that was a publicity stunt
Trying to cover
and
their
save
backside.
face.
Yeah.
Because if you are serious about keeping him, don't you ring the bloke directly? Don't you just say,
The fact
whatever's
that
going on...
comes out and does it like that, and there's no sort of, announcement as a group, says something that there's some type of friction there.
So
and he feels dudded to some degree.
How do you think that that's going to impact Manly going forward for the remainder of the season then? It does...
I think they'll be all right.
The players will be fine. It'll be interesting Sunday at 4 Pines, Brookie, whether he gets booed. We saw Dylan Brown last week. Combank got booed.
No, these are
I don't think Daly will get booed.
Well, the spin has started, though. There is definitely a directive out there to try and make it look as though Manly is not to blame here. And Daly on 100% footy is happy to say it's on me. I think he wants to be the bigger person in this situation and say, whatever you want, throw it on me.
Yeah. And that's the thing, the fact that the club that you've been at for so long wasn't able to even offer you something at the end of last year. They had the time, they had they could have done that. But anyway, it has been a big week. Thank you, Michael, for joining us and filling us in on all the latest.
I feel like you guys use me. I don't even the negative stuff. I come in here and I just talk negative and
you can
get out
stick
of here.
around.